In this video, I let various different YouTubers decide what roller coaster I build in Planet Coaster 2, and I've got to say it's worked out a lot better than I originally imagined. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and let me go into the context of why I'm actually doing this. So basically what was said in the intro is the premise of today's video, which is to ask a bunch of theme park YouTubers to give me one roller coaster element, whether that be a vertical loop or a cobra roll, and I've got to integrate them all into one singular roller coaster. I went with a Mack launch coaster for this model just because I feel like some of the elements that were suggested fit really well with a Mack launch coaster. Some of them don't, but I make a workaround for them, as you'll see later in the video. But the first element here, as you can see, is an Immelman, and this was suggested by Theme Park Insanity. So thank you very much for just suggesting this, and it's going to make it just like a Mack launch coaster and very reminiscent of Icon Second Launch, where it goes up into the Immelman. As you can see here, I'm just trying to work out the speeds of everything because it really needs to get over there, so I tried boosting up the launch a bit, and eventually it did make it over at just the right pace. As you can see here, I'm going into a couple twists and turns, which is followed by an S-bend, just to extend the layout and make it a lot more smoother between the transitions of the elements. As I was about to finish off this element and go into the next one, I realised that the S-bend was actually too tight as I was looking back through the layout, so I decided to retract that and make it a lot wider to make sure the laterals and the vertical G-force are actually bearable. By the way, let me know down in the comments what you think of Planet Coaster 2 so far if you've got it. I'm personally loving the new game. I love the coaster types and the smoothing method is an absolute godsend. Once I've sorted out the S-bend, I'm going into my next inversion, which is a lagoon roll suggested by DigitalDan. Fun fact, this is only found on one roller coaster in the world, and it's Cannibal at Lagoon Park. That's why it's got its name, and it also goes over a pit of water, which also gives it half of its name as well. It's a really intriguing roller coaster element because it does half a heartline roll and then twists back the same way, which creates like a really weird sensation. As you can see here, I'm trying to do like a twisted airtime hill just to turn it around so we can go into our next inversion, which is a corkscrew suggested by Lift Hills and Thrills. This inversion is a staple for many rides, including a double corkscrew which can be found at the very front of Alton Towers. But now we're going up into our next inversion, which is a death roll suggested by Coaster Tog. This is found on RMC coasters typically, however I tried to do it with a Mack launch coaster. I think it works alright. It's not as big as they should typically be and not as violent, however I try my best with it. I'm now trying to do the brake run so I can line it up towards the end. I did originally try and put a helix into the brake run, however it went over that too slow and really killed the pace of the ride, so I retracked it. Now I was trying to work out the train system of the ride because originally I wanted two trains going around at the same time in the same layout. However, one of them got stuck on the brake run, so I decided to ditch the brake run idea and maybe stick with smaller cars. However, that slowed down the ride, so I just ultimately changed it back to what it originally was. After smoothing out the coaster fully, I decided to change the colours of the track and the train to red to fit with the YouTuber theme. Just checking the layout one more time, and then I actually went ahead and made a plaza so I could make some cinematic shots. Now it's time for the overview. Thanks so much for watching this video. Like, subscribe, goodbye.